Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
I had a fairly long career in high tech, and after another round of layoffs, I felt like I would like to do something that was my own. I spent a good time figuring out what that would be, and during that time, dabbled with a video gaming website just to see how building a website and running it works. In 2015, I started my first serious website, and after running for a year and making some money, I decided to start another one. For this website, I did much better business research and planning and started this website that is now for sale in August 2016. At first, for the first few months, I worked on the website on my own, but pretty soon I hired my first VA, then an artist and writer, and then maybe a year or two later, I also hired a project manager who takes care of the multi-step content creation process and pretty much handles the day-to-day operations of the website.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
The reason is quite simple. My wife and I have decided to retire while we are still able to have a physically active life.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Running the business doesn't require a lot of my time, just a few hours per week. The team takes care of the content creation, and the project manager plans and oversees the day-to-day operation. My role is relatively simple. I have a weekly call with the project manager to stay updated and address any issues. I also spend a couple of hours each month researching new content topics. Additionally, I respond to a few customer support tickets each week, although the project manager handles most of them. Also, every few months, I update the WordPress plugins to keep everything running and secure.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
So far, the focus of the website traffic has been on search, and not so much time has been spent in planning or testing content for YouTube or social networks, or figuring out additional monetization methods like sponsorships or affiliates. I think the following activities would have the most business potential. First, there are videos, obviously. YouTube and TikTok continue to draw more and more viewers, and drawing tutorials are a very popular topic. The current videos produced by the business are not that great. Therefore, I think there is quite a bit of opportunity here. The visual content does very well on social networks. Facebook and Pinterest both have a lot of potential. I've dabbled with them, but haven't really spent enough time trying to make them work. I have seen many drawing and coloring Facebook pages doing really well, though. And of course, Pinterest is doing already okay for the business. Then there is the newsletter. The business has a daily newsletter, and growing it appears to be fairly easy. I just haven't put in the work to figure out the monetization. And finally, and I think this is a big one, if somebody with better marketing savvy would run the business, I'm pretty sure they would do really well by repackaging and selling the existing content and products. After all, there are hundreds of big ebooks and thousands of printable PDFs that haven't really been monetized that well.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
Search is the biggest source for traffic, and changes Google makes are obviously a risk. The website has been fairly stable for many years, but it would be wise to further diversify traffic and monetization to protect the business. The website is one of the few bigger websites with simple drawing tutorials, and all of them have done quite well through the Google changes. I've seen many copycat websites rise, then crash and burn, but these quality websites are still doing well.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
The project manager knows everything about the content creation process. He is willing to work for the new owner and is the best source for those questions. For everything else, I can be available for 2 extra months for a handful of hours per month.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
I would prefer full payment upfront, but I'm open to exploring options if that's necessary.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
Well, it has strong traffic. It has multiple sources of income. There is a team and processes in place and a project manager that runs the team. And there is a huge library of visual assets that can be reused and repurposed for different products and marketing channels.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.